I'm excited to be able to welcome on one of the top prospects in class of 2022 and Jaylen Thompson. What's going on today, bro?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. Well, I mean, you're part of 2022, which means obviously just about a little over a week ago, coaches could start calling you. How you kind of get? How's it feel of not being able to talk to coaches?
It's been like a really cool experience getting to talk to the colleges and stuff. I met a lot of nice coaches, good people. Got to learn more about the schools. Yeah.
And you've received interest from a lot of schools, including obviously schools like Texas, Arizona, Virginia Tech, Stanford, Washington State. I mean, the list goes on. What's some of the schools that have shown the most interest to you right now?
St. Mary's, I would say Stanford, Oregon State's reached out a number of times. LMU actually offered like last week, so
Mhm.
those have been like constantly. Arizona's been reaching out a lot too.
And we know for a lot of guys, the possibility of staying closer to home, especially with everything going on right now, is something that's a lot more appealing to guys. For you personally, is staying somewhere near or relatively close to California any kind of an impact on you?
Not really. I really want to explore my options, go on a few visits and stuff. Staying close to home, it would be nice and stuff, but like exploring other options is also something I'm into looking to.
And let's talk about a couple of those programs. One of them is Arizona. And we know for both Arizona, Kansas, Oklahoma State, a lot of different schools, they've had FBI stuff, they've had just other stuff off the court issues. When you're a top recruit and you're considering these schools, do you put any thought, does possible past thing that they've done with the FBI come into any play with you?
No, I haven't really thought about that type of stuff, like FBI and the issues with that and stuff. I haven't really looked into it.
Gotcha. And another big one is obviously Stanford. They're a school that obviously has always been known for getting guys to the NBA. They're a great program, but now they've landed top guys in the country. Guys obviously like Zaire, they've landed Esau now for 2021. Seeing a school that keeps landing top ranked players, how much of an impact or appeal is that to you?
It's an option. I always like to look at it like that. I like the coaching staff up there. I enjoyed a lot of my visit up there. Like I just want to like keep it open, but Stanford's like definitely a place to look at, especially them landing those two guys.
Hmm. And for you personally, I know a lot of guys that are top players like to talk to other guys, obviously. Is there anyone you've talked about possibly wanting to team up somewhere with someone?
Yeah, actually, I've talked to Issa a few times, especially with him committing to Stanford and stuff. That's the one that I reached out to recently.
That's big time. And I mean, you obviously have a ton of other schools that have shown interest, offered you, so on and so forth. When it comes time to start narrowing this down, how do you plan to do that? What's some of the criteria you want to see from a college that's going to make your top list?
Their style of play is a big thing. I want to look at the type of players they develop, um, NCAA appearances, how like who takes pride in winning and who takes pride in like improving their players and development. Because the goal is to get to the top level. So like those things are really important to look at.
And when you say play style, what kind of play style do you think is the best fit for you?
Um, faster style of play, spaced out floor where you could drive and stuff, kick out for shots, that type of stuff.
And with you, we obviously know that you have a lot of potential, and NBA obviously is your ultimate goal. Who's the kind of player that you kind of look to model your game after, take pieces from? They think you could be that you think you kind of play a lot like.
I try to look at Kevin Durant a lot, Jason Tatum. Those are like my two players that I like to look at, study their game a lot.
And when you look at a college, if a coach is able to put a guy into the NBA after 1 or 2 years, how much more appealing does that make that coach or that program?
It'd probably make it like a lot more appealing. Seeing that they did a good job with them, especially looking at like how much the player developed through that 1 or 2 years to see like how they could go from like being not so good in high school or they were pretty good in high school, but like seeing major jumps and improvement and being able to play in the NBA and stuff. That would be really cool.
On the other side, I mean, you've been able to talk to coaches now a lot as well. What kind of personality do you really like in a coach? What's kind of personality you really would like to have in a coach?
Always someone that's honest. Like they're able like easy to talk to, very approachable, have like a humorous side to them. They don't have to be funny, but like someone that's not too stern or too serious.
And you've had obviously a lot of breakout moments, but one that really started to get everything going was your Pangos camp a little bit ago. When you're at
Mhm.
that camp and you're able to go off like you did, what was that like? What did it kind of feel like coming out of that with a lot more interest, a lot more offers?
I mean, it was pretty exciting, but like I try to stay focused, not let it get to my head and that stuff. It was like a motivation, like I get a lot more recognition and stuff. So it was like motivation to keep working harder and harder.
And let's talk about your season now. Coming off a 23-8 win season, you put up pretty solid numbers. What kind of was this past year like? Take us through the year.
Um, we had a pretty solid year. It was like it was very solid. Next year, I think we do a lot better. I've improved a lot. Some of the players improved a lot. We had some pretty big games. Bishop O'Dowd game, that was a really big game for us. We had a nice playoff run. Yeah.
And you look at what you're able to put up next year. What's the numbers that you're kind of expecting for yourself for next season?
I want to go for like try to average a double double, around 20 points, 10 rebounds a game. Yeah.
Personally, for you, I mean, we know what you're able to play at, and you're still really underrated. I mean, not a lot of people know you. Other than seeing your
hmm
name sometimes start popping up in some rankings. For those that don't necessarily know exactly what you bring to a team, how would you define your game?
Um, I think I'm a pretty versatile player, able to guard multiple positions, block shots, get some steals. On offense, obviously I'm a slasher. I have a nice mid-range shot, developing three-point shooter. Yeah.
What would you say is your strength on the court?
Getting to the basket is a major strength on the court. Yeah, I would say that's my biggest strength, getting to the basket.
On this side of that, then, what would you say is your biggest weakness or the thing you're mostly working on right now?
I wouldn't say it's a real weakness. My ball handling skills, I've improved it a lot since even like Pangos last school year. I've improved on it a lot. That's going to be developing. Yeah.
And that's something I think a lot of guys have realized. Obviously, quarantine's not ideal. You'd rather be playing AAU, going on visits or
Mhm.
whatnot. We've been able to pretty much be locked in, be able to work on your skills. What's been the biggest thing or things that you've been working on during this past few months?
Yeah, I've been improving on the outside shot, a lot of footwork stuff, big on ball handling, like I said before, and just like working on different moves, being more versatile on the court, being more crafty, that type of stuff.
And there's some rumors about potentially having the AAU season start up to some degree. What do you
Mhm.
think your program is going to do? I know you're playing with Arsenal. What do you think you're going to be able to do this year?
I think I have a pretty big summer. It's going to my junior year, so we just gotta show out and stuff.
And what's the talk within the program? Are you guys going to be able to play some games soon, or what does that look like?
Yeah, we should have a few games coming up soon. I'm not sure what the dates are, but like coming up, we should have a few games.
That's huge. And as I said, you still have a few more years, obviously, till you get into the commitment
Mhm.
process. But what's it going to take throughout the next couple years? I mean, how do you kind of plan to stay focused on both the court while still balancing all the stuff that comes with the coaches' calls, media, and so on and so forth?
Just not letting it get to my head. Just keeping focused, keeping like my values, what's important to me when considering the options and stuff. Yeah.
And let's go back to that night about a week ago when coaches start calling you. What was that first day like for you?
The first day, it was super exciting. I didn't know what to expect at first. It was midnight. Got a bunch of text messages, different pictures of the campus, all type of stuff. So it was really exciting for me.
So, what was your first call then right at midnight?
Yeah, I got a text message. I didn't receive a call until like the next day, but I got
Mhm.
5 text messages that night.
Who were some of the texts from?
I received a text from Washington State. I got one from Texas. There was a few other schools that Oregon State sent a text. And then the next morning, I got a call from Vanderbilt, USC. And then later in the day, I got a bunch more calls.
And for you, we know once this Corona stuff's all set out, you can go on visits again. Is that
hmm
kind of the goal once this all gets clear up that you want to start doing your visits?
Yeah, I probably want to go on a few unofficial visits, like when Corona clears. I don't think, I don't know if I'm able to go any official visits, but like unofficial, definitely.
What's some of the schools you're looking at doing a visit to?
Um, Maybe a few up here, like Cal, St. Mary's, Stanford, go to Stanford again, maybe take a trip to LA or something, go up to Oregon, those type of things. Yeah.
And that's another school that's been big in California, USC. They have the Mobley brothers. Evan Mobley obviously is up there with possibly being the number one player in his class. They land a guy
Mhm.
like him and a lot of the pieces they have. What kind of attractiveness is USC to you?
Um, they're like a centralized location. They have a really good program. They put out a few guys to the NBA. They're big. Their recruitment has been really good. I've heard the coaching is really good down there also. Yeah.
Absolutely. What's some of the big things you're looking at would possibly influence that school to be the school that you're ultimately going to choose?
Um, like it's like a big decision, I'd say. Um, I'll probably I don't know about like staying home and stuff. I just have to go on like a few visits, explore it, see what I like, talking to people about it, that type of stuff.
You've got a couple more years until you head off to college, and obviously it's a
Hmm.
lot of time. What do you want to achieve and accomplish like your last couple of years of high school?
Definitely want to be league MVP while I'm in high school. Looking forward to being like first team All California on a senior year, those type of things.
A big thing also in California and across the country is playing a national schedule. We're in a prep
Hmm.
school, and we know there's a lot of them in California. How much of an appeal is going to one of those big schools have to you?
I've thought about it. I haven't really. I've talked to a prep school or two. It's like maybe for a senior year that might be an option, but for right now, I'm gonna stay at a regular CIF school.
And another big thing I know for a lot of guys is you are 2022, which a lot of
Hmm.
people are leaning towards the idea saying it could be a possibility that you guys could go straight to the NBA out of high school. If that's something that's available, or if not, just the G League option, are either one of those things something you would consider?
Definitely, that would definitely be a consideration. Yeah, going straight to the league, that would be great. That would be a consideration.
That's big time, man. My last thing before I let you go is personally, I know you want to obviously achieve a big time thing. You want to be noteworthy and create a legacy for many different things, both on and off the court. What do you want that legacy to be by the time you walk away from the game of basketball?
I just want to be people like to recognize me like that was a solid dude. Like he handled his business, that type of stuff.
Absolutely, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on, my guy, and look forward to seeing what God's got next for you, man.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Anytime, man. You always welcome on, bro. God bless.
God bless you.